Alright, this will be the trade recap for Monday, July 14th. So looking at the pre-market plan, the market is pretty much in this higher time frame balance at these all-time highs, forming a really nice balance here. And on the lower time frame, we just tested this lower balance and are bouncing, now holding support at this 6273, 6275 area. So my main plan was, since we were bouncing off of this level, as long as we can hold up here, I'm kind of looking for bullish moves to start retesting these upper areas of the balance. And then if this level did break, I would be willing to look for a possible retest for a dip into another test of this balance low. So that's where I said here. Let's get into the market. So market opens up strong. Actually is pretty strong before it opens as well. And then right on the open kind of starts consolidating. And the first move I'm watching for, since we are strong above this 6275 area, was for this pre-market, not pre-market high, but pre-market res. It was the high until it broke right before right before the market opened. But yeah, I was still watching that level for a retest. We get this consolidation start to happening. I get a little bit of FOMO because there's a decent amount of confirmation here, but I wait for an actual aggressive retest closer to my zone. We get super close here. That's where I get my entry. End up getting a little bit of run up and stopping out. So if we look at that, this is where I first get a little bit of my FOMO, because when price is doing that initial consolidation, it's kind of showing some signs of absorption down here. And even on this move, I was kind of watching for a possible uh, buy right here if this were able to hold, but we did end up breaking a little bit lower. So I was eyeing a possible entry on this candle, didn't get it, got that dip lower. And then now we're still not quite at the level, but at this point we're close enough with that confirmation I get. So aggressive dip into the level, gets defended. You can see that bit defending right here. Some buying comes in. That's where I get long. We get a little bit of run up. I think like 2 or 3 points ends up stopping us out. And at this point, I am then watching for next opportunity. So if we think back to my plan, I'm still pretty bullish as long as we can hold above this 6275. So what I see develop next was at this pre-market support area. We got some nice confirmation right at that level. So I'll talk about that now. And one thing I should say is I wasn't just blindly watching this level for if it hit to get an entry, because honestly, at this point, when I stopped out of this trade, I was getting kind of bearish. But I still had my thesis that if we can hold above this 6275, I'm bullish. But I'm kind of questioning it more at this point. But then when this confirmation comes in at this level, it kind of all comes together for a really good setup that wasn't necessarily 100% planned out in advance. Yeah, but we get this aggressive dip into this pre-market support level. Get some buying off of it. Not in yet. Not in yet. Retest it again. And this is where I start to see a little bit of absorption. Bounce off. Retest again. Absorbed again. And boom, I'm in. Got in on that absorption, a little bit of consolidation, and then pumped into our targets. And on that trade, I was looking for first a reclaim of this 6287, and then I was looking to get out most of my position, 5 out of 6 contracts between 91 and 95. And then on my final, I was looking for a push into 630 or a trailing stop loss, which it ended up getting taken on the trailing stop loss. I went ahead and sized down today as well, just what I was feeling comfortable with, and risk was a little bit higher in terms of points. Yeah, pretty solid day though. 2.26 risk reward on that second trade, -1 on the first. Kind of looks like price is just going to balance out on the day. At least now that's what's happening. But yeah,